Right, let's continue with these deployments. So I'd like you to open up GitHub and then come join me. When you open up GitHub, you should see compare and pull request. Okay, this is because we have incoming pull requests, which means we have said git push origin dev, and we'd like to merge it into main. So I'm going to say compare and pull request. And let's have a look. So it says open a pull request. Great. And this is the important part here. So we have base main set by default, nothing we need to do. And we have compare dev. Perfect. Nothing we need to do there. So we're going to follow the green buttons in this workflow. So we're going to say create a pull request. Okay. And it's all of this work that we've been saying git push origin dev. We added AI SDK, blogs, CRUD, landing pages from earlier on, all of this stuff, right? So we can say git push origin dev for 10 years before we ever merge into main. It's totally up to us. Okay, and when we do merge into main, it's protected on Vercel by our Vercel account login. So no one can access it even when we push to production. When we add a custom domain, then it's available for the world to see. So I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to follow the green button. It says this branch was successfully deployed, one active deployment. All checks have passed, no conflicts with base branch. So now I can say merge pull request. So now we are taking all of that code from dev, we're going to merge it into main. Okay, follow the green button, confirm merge. All right, guys, so it's turned purple. At the top it says merged. 14 commits into main from dev. Fantastic. I'm going to go back to my code. Okay, and I'm in the main branch and I can see 18 commits and all of these. Okay, 2 hours ago, 3 weeks ago, 15 minutes ago. But moreover, let's go check out Vercel. Because we have a production deployment busy building. So now we're going to, hopefully it's going to turn green. It should do. If the preview branch turned green, then production should definitely turn green. And while that is happening, we can see that it's connected to the main branch. So to kick this off, all we needed to do was merge from dev to main on GitHub. So there's actually nothing we need to do in Vercel. If we want that preview branch created on Vercel, git push origin dev from Cursor. If we want a production branch created on Vercel, then we have to merge dev to main on GitHub. Could we push to main from Cursor? Yes, we can. You don't want to do that. That's when things go wrong. Okay, so that's why I prefer doing the merging locally, pushing to dev locally, because that's our controlled local host environment. But I don't like to do that from main locally. Okay, too much at stake. I keep everything protected up in the cloud, and I force myself to go through a pull request to be able to merge from dev to main. Okay. And guys, just like that, I now have a production branch and I can click it. And this is where our main custom domain is going to be set shortly. I'll show you an example of how to do that. Now, if I click on visit, watch what happens. We have an internal server error. And that is because we have no environment variable set. So our env.local file only works for localhost. We have to now add those variables because now the server is not localhost. So localhost runs on a local instance of Node on our computer. Now we have to run it on the web, hosted by Vercel, but Vercel needs environment variables to run this. So let's add that next. Right, so let's go back to Serif and we're going to go to settings. Okay, and then down the left-hand side, we have environment variables. Click that. Fantastic. Now, first drop down, click that for me, please, and just uncheck development. But we're going to keep preview and production checked for now. Okay, now we are going to go back to Cursor and we're going to open up our .env.local file. And it's quite nice, this process, actually, because we can just do this. We can just say copy. And then come back here and literally paste. I'm going to talk you through some of these things. But actually, guys, just thinking about this, I did want to show you how to do a proper production server. So let's also uncheck production. Let's just keep this for preview. Uncheck production. Okay. Now it's giving a warning basically because it will say that we have a next public, but this is a Supabase, a non-public key, so that's okay. It's going to say the same for the Stripe publishable key. That is a public key, so that's fine. And the ones that don't say next public are basically a secret, so I can save. So guys, just remember we're saving this to the preview branch. I'm going to say save. Okay, we're going to ignore that message. And I just want to show you that down here, it now says preview. So for the preview branch, we have our Supabase, OpenAI, Resend, Stripe, etc. Our Upstash as well. We're going to be using the same Upstash for production. But this is where it's done, okay? If we go back to deployments, and here is a preview deployment. Across on the right-hand side, guys, okay? So just making sure that this is the preview environment. Just triple check that, the latest preview. If we try to visit this, it doesn't work, okay? Because there's no environment variables, but we can click on these three dots and say redeploy. Okay, I'm going to redeploy that. It's going to go through the build process, and then hopefully we'll have a working app on the preview branch, because now it's pulling from environment variables that exist on the Vercel server itself. All right, guys, and as you can see, the thumbnail has now changed because we have environment variables set for preview. So when it comes to setting production variables, those might be different. They will be different because I said previously that we actually need a different Supabase project altogether. We need our live Stripe keys, etc. So now I can click on visit, and it's behind a login, but here it is. I can go ahead and I can use my app on the web. So this is the point of a preview, because now you can send this to a client. You can send the URL to a client and say, go ahead, create an account and use the app. They do need to be a part of your Vercel team because it's behind a login. It's protected, but that's how it should be. All right, guys, so I hope you're sort of starting to piece together how everything is connected. And in the next lesson, we're going to look at connecting a custom domain if we would so wish to do so.